everyone, it's Sheila with Little Shop of Journals, and I have a couple new journals that I just completed that I wanted to share with everyone. I will be listing these on my Etsy shop, but as you can see, they're both quite different from one another. One is sewing themed and one is not. This is sort of a, I guess I would call it partially bare journal. Anyway, I will start with the sewing journal first. This one is soft covered material. I don't know if you can tell, underneath what I did was Joanna Plow had shown how she does these little patchwork pages with material, and then she runs it through an embossing machine and it looks exactly like it was quilted. Well, that's what's underneath here. I did that, and then I stitched around as well. Made a collage on the front here with different laces and some cheesecloth, some ribbon. There's some vintage lace here that I actually got from a antique shop in the area that I put on there. Has a little sewing machine charm. The back is plain. And seam binders ribbon. So I'm going to try to stay in frame here. I hope that the lighting's okay. But it's really funny what you can accomplish in a 3-day weekend. In the States, as a lot of people are aware, we just had a Memorial Day weekend in honor of our military service and those who have sacrificed and those who still serve. So we always look forward to that holiday. It's the beginning of our summer, technically. But anyway, so on the inside, I did do a couple bead charms, but on the inside here, I made a little needle book and stuck it in here. I meant to have a stick pin, and of course I don't, but of course it's all fabric and felt. Has a pocket on the front cover, on the inside as well as the back, and then felt. You can stick some little sewing notions as well as, you know, your favorite needles, darning needles, sewing needles, etc. Has a little button that I sewn on the front here to wrap the closure around to keep it closed. But that is there. Scrapbook paper with a couple different types of trim and another little remnant of that vintage lace that I had gotten from that antique shop. Little charm that I made. Inside I had this wide piece of trim. I just sort of wrapped around the whole edge. This, of course, is through the Tim Holtz paper pack. Made a little journaling card. I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but I did stencil the tea-dyed pages, the blank pages, fairly light, but they are stenciled. Some vintage ledger, some graph paper, once again some more stenciling. This is once again, that's what the front cover is underneath the collage. I don't know if you can actually see it in this or not, but this little pocket gives you an example of that. Little tag. Got this from Nick the Booksmith from her Etsy shop. That's part of her ephemera kit. Made a little journaling card I stitched around and did some stamping on the back. A little pen with a pair of scissors. A muslin trim there. This too is from Nick the Booksmith's shop. Another little journaling card that I made. On the back, it actually has graph paper, but it also has a little pocket here to tuck something in. More tea-dyed and stenciled pages for lots of journaling, some ledger paper, pattern paper for a ruffle, little pocket down here, another tag that I just stitched around, added a little piece of ephemera, I think from Tim Holtz. Did put a stamp there, side tuck, another journaling card that I stitched around and added a stamp there of a sewing machine. More graph paper, glassine envelope. I added some muslin at the top here, another little piece of ephemera from Nick the Booksmith's Etsy shop. And here, this pocket is actually made out of a coffee filter. I just did a little collage of some lace and crocheted trim. Another little card from Tim Holtz. I really messed, my sewing machine messed up here, but I was like, they can throw it away if they don't want to use it. I thought it added to the charm. Little button card. I think this too is from Nick the Booksmith. I just glued some, I stitched some buttons through the holes and then glued them to the card. Another little glass bead. Another piece from Nick the Booksmith's Etsy shop. Sears and Roebuck paper that I stitched around. Has an old sewing machine on there for $19.50. Tea-dyed and stenciled paper. An envelope, and I did not realize this until I had sewn it in and was going through finalizing everything. I didn't stitch along here before I put this in, so I'll say partially sewn. I lined the envelope though with muslin, so it has a nice feel in it. Put a little clip here just to keep it down, keep it from catching. Tea-dyed paper, a little flip out, just a little piece of trim. Back side of the Sears and Roebuck paper, little corner pocket, fabric underneath, tag with a pair of scissors on there. Back side of that, another little pocket with a sewing machine, another piece of ephemera from Nick the Booksmith. I stitched around. Back side of the glassine bag, another piece of ephemera. Graph paper, little dangle I added here, a little charm of a ruler. Side tuck. Another journaling card that I made, backed with tea-dyed lined paper and a stamp of a sewing machine. Some more pattern paper as ribbon, just some little trim that I stitched to the side of the ledger paper. This journal has 18 pages, one-sided, so times 4. Whatever that is, I can't do math in my head right now. 32, 4, like 72 pages, I guess. Little pocket. I think that's from Nick the Booksmith. Made a little mini book. Just various tea-dyed pages and some stamping in there. Double pockets, stitch some buttons on there as you can see. Tag in there. Another little piece of ephemera that I think this is Tim Holtz, stitched around and stamped. Graph paper. Back of the ledger paper. The ledger paper, I used some material here. This paper is very fragile, and when you fold it, seems to break in half. So I've been adding fabric to the seam there to try to prevent that from happening. Back side of the scrapbook paper. I can't remember what shop I bought these from. I'll have to look that up. But I wrapped some of the fabric that I used, I believe, on the cover in some of the quilting that's covered. Little corner pocket here, another tag or journaling card with spool of thread stamped on it. And that is the back, seam binders, ribbon closure, and that is that one. So that's my first sewing theme journal. Pretty bulky, I think because of the needle book. And this one is, I don't know what I would call this. It's aqua and yellow, as you can see. It is fabric covered. I did the cross stitch binding, piece of trim, lace, 2 different types of fabric, and then I added this little embellishment here. The closure on this one, I actually saw a tutorial that Zoe Tofield did, and it's my first time using it, and I love it. The good thing about it, it's tied back here. I left extra because as your book perhaps grows, as you put items in, you can make this go tighter. You know, if you need to expand it or shorten it, you can. So that just wraps around there. This one is sort of, I guess I would call naked. Doesn't have a lot of ephemera in it at all. It's a different type of journal, but here we go. The inside, of course, library pocket here. Get the library card back in there. All of a sudden I'm all thumbs. It's full of scrapbook paper, mixed media paper. Some pages are tea-dyed, some papers are not. Some Sears and Roebuck paper, tone paper, music paper, you name it. It's just a mixture. It's a little, well, there's a pocket here and a little pocket here for a tag. And what I did, probably a year ago or so, I saw a tutorial where someone was making tags out of the scrap paper they had, and that's where I got this idea for these tags that are in here. I used the scraps and made the tags. But as I mentioned, there's all different kinds of things going on here. A lot of sewing, Sears and Roebuck, mixed media paper, toned paper, scrapbook paper, side pocket that I stitched around, tea-dyed, mixed media, an envelope that I made out of music paper, stitched around, that's tea-dyed, a little fold out with some washi tape, tea-dyed, back side of the scrapbook paper. This one I'll just sort of flip through pretty quickly. Not a lot to talk about, just several different types of paper, washi, and I stitched another pocket with another one of those tags. A little cutout, some trim. Little belly band, ledger paper, mixed media, toned paper, fold out, another cutout. I like making these types of journals, and when I make journals for my daughter, this is the type she prefers. because sometimes she'll put pictures, sometimes she does, you know, art, maybe paint or whatever she wants to do. She does do a lot of writing, but this is the type of journal I honestly prefer as well, because it lets your creativeness come out. You can make it what you want to make it. Another pocket, washi tape, will fold out. This folds out for a little spot perhaps that you can write something in. Has a pocket behind it with another tag. Dyed paper, scrapbook paper, toned paper with some trim, scrapbook paper, some mixed media paper. I just put some trim here. Writing paper, cut out the edge, envelope, this one has 7 signatures. There's 8 pages in each signature. So it's like 56 times 4, 200 and some pages, right? I can't do math in my head, I'm sorry. Another pocket. I did do a lot of sewing in this though, around edges and what have you. Fold out, sari silk, here's some roebuck, center has a little, this has a pocket here to put something in. This flips up and it has, it's like a little notepad in there. I don't know if there's anything on the back. No. Pocket, or side pocket here. Some trim, tea-dyed paper, graph paper, scrapbook paper, graph paper, tea-dye, scrapbook with the trim. And then this is a double pocket. There's pockets behind. I didn't put anything in them. But there's a pocket there and a pocket here. So there's 4 pockets on this. I sort of like the way those hang out because it sort of make tabs on the edges, as you can see. I sort of like that. Toned paper, scrapbook, more washi that I stitched on, another pocket, toned paper that I put some trim on, more sari silk, here's some roebuck, tea-dye, scrapbook paper, back side of that sari silk. I thought it went perfect with this because it has the black and the aqua in it. The pocket. So as you can see, music paper. This sort of, it's simple, but it lets the recipient do what they want. I don't know how to put that into words. I'm out of words. Sari silk. This is a little tiny pocket. Stuck another journaling card in there. Trim. paper, ledger paper, different type of ledger paper, mixed media, another envelope. Sorry ribbon, and the back side. And there is that journal. I think I told you it's 9 by 6, 2 1/4 inch spine, 7 signatures, be 56 times 4. Where's my phone? Sorry, I should have had this all ready for everyone, and as ready as you think you are, you never are ready, right? So front and back, 224 pages in this one. And cross stitch. As you can see, I think the colors look really pretty together. I really like this one. But anyway, these are my 2 journals. I almost have a third done, but with other things we had going on this weekend in the yard and pool and etc., I didn't get it done. So hopefully later in the week I'll have a third one done to share with you all. And I'd just like to thank everyone very much for visiting my channel. And I am in the process of doing these journals. I'm still working on 2 journals that I'm going to give away for my subscriber giveaway coming up. So those are in process as well. Got a lot going on. But anyway, I'm just rambling on. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a great day and see you soon. Bye.